study American economy and American markets every day of your professional life. What is the situation right now with the deflation? Do you think American government will fight it? What is the story?
Well, the Federal Reserve has been fighting it quite, quite strongly and quite intently over the last several years. They're starting to, talk about raising rates. They've ended quantitative easing. So, deflation is I think, been fought off. It's a matter of disinflation now, where there's sort of not enough inflation to meet the Fed's target of about 2%. However, even with oil prices low, energy prices low, and keeping inflation down, it's starting to pick up. I mean, we just did an analysis of the NASDAQ. Everyone's talking about the NASDAQ being a new all-time high. And adjusted for inflation, believe it or not, the high was 7,000 in the year 2000, not 5,000. So even though we're talking about deflation and fighting deflation and disinflation, there's still a little bit of inflation there that's been building and accumulating over the past 10, 15 years or so. So there's some there. They're looking for more, and I think we'll start to see that tightening happen towards the end of the year, early next year.
So we're sitting here in the middle of Times Square, and the next question is, do you think America will maintain its appeal for investors for the next year or two?
I do, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a boon for investors. I think there's still some upside here. I'm looking for some higher prices myself, but we're, creating that longer-term top that, I think we're in the process of. Even though, some of the other economies out there in the world are beginning to finally do some quantitative easing, following America's lead. I think England is one of the only other countries to really do it the same way. But I think some of that foreign money may find its way into the U.S. stock market because of the performance. The money will chase performance, and our economy's doing arguably quite well versus European markets and other markets. So I think it'll still be attractive to investors, but I think money's going to start going other places, and I think it's time to, be a little bit more defensive and take some profits.
It's the beginning of spring right now, and agriculture is heating up. What is the situation on the agricultural grain markets right now?
Well, it's heating up a little bit, but it's still pretty cold and snow-covered across most of America, especially out in the breadbasket there. So it's a little bit early to be getting into some of the grain trades and some of the agricultural trades. That's more of a, buy the harvest lows out there in September, and you're looking for what happens when this thaw comes through. So, it's a little bit early to get into the grain trades. Not a whole lot of action going on there right now.
Do you foresee any dramatic price drop in grain markets because of the oil price drops?
I don't know if it's going to be that dramatic, but I do think it makes it a little bit cheaper, a little bit less expensive to produce the grains when the fuel and some of the fertilizer products are a bit lower priced. But there doesn't seem to be a whole big drop in grains coming up, I don't believe.
Overall, oil price drop, how is it affecting American economy right now?
They say it helps it a little bit, it makes it a little bit cheaper. I think some of that is true. However, in the stock market, the oil stocks were a big part of the market. They had gone way up, so because the oil stocks sold off, it brought the market down a little bit. But I think that rotation is happening. I think it's going to have less of an impact on the stock market performance. It's always nice to have lower utility bills and gasoline, costs at the pump, but it's not helping that much. I think oil's in a new sort of range. A lot of people are looking for lower oil. We were looking for $40 oil last November, or December when it started to drop. Fell off from a pretty sharp decline from about 70, 75 down to the low 40s, and I think we can get back up there over the summer. I'm getting long oil right now. I own the USO, the ETF, many different ways to take that position, but seasonally, crude oil tends to make a bottom in February, and it's pretty much done that. So we're seeing a really nice sector seasonality set up with crude oil, and also a nice technical bottom forming there, and some of the fundamental factors that are helping it find support. I think all come together for a nice trade in crude oil.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it.